We are a happily married couple in a polyamorous relation with a city in East Asia. We've decided it's not cheating if we're both in love with Hong Kong. We're revisiting this amazing place for 4 days in June. We got reunited with our favorite place in the whole world. It was soulful and beautiful. This vlog is part 1 of our 4 days getaway to Hong Kong. We hope you'll enjoy it. So you're in Hong Kong. You're in Hong Kong International. You just got here. You're either in arrival halls A or arrival halls B, and you need to make your way to the city center. You'll probably need to prepare in advance. First, you need something that's called an octopus card. You should get the online version, the digital version. Fill in some info, add some money on top of it, and you're good to go. You're good to use it in any of Hong Kong's transit systems, the metro, the tramway, the buses, the cable cars. Even in convenience stores, you can literally buy Red Bull with it. Second, you'll probably need a SIM card of sorts. There are a lot of booths that sell SIM cards in the arrival halls. I would advise you to get an eSIM. We usually go with Holafly for this, but you know, mileage might vary. Now, you're right here in this transit center. Right up ahead and in front of you, you have the Airport Express station. That's the expensive way of traveling to the city center, but it does take some 35 minutes down to Central. On your right-hand side, there's the bus station. And I would advise you to get the bus. The views are amazing, the price is fair, and you get to ride one of the double-decker buses. And depending on whether your accommodation is in Kowloon or on the island, you should get bus number A11 for island-bound travel, or A21 for those of you staying in Kowloon. It has been our default way of traveling from the airport to the city center since we first arrived here in 2017 together. And we highly recommend you use the bus to go downtown. There is usually a queue for the seats on the upper deck of the bus. What we do is, Alexandra, she's holding the camera right now, yay. She kind of bounces up the stairs to the second deck of the bus, trying to get the nice seats up front, while I arrange our luggage on the luggage rack in the bus. And as you can imagine, we're not the only ones rushing up to the second floor of the bus to get the great seats with the view. Here we go. This is our end time. I'm not sure doing this exact route, but we are now traveling 11 stops to our hotel. Our hotel is in Wan Chai.
And we are going to cross the, well, I don't remember exactly, but there's a bridge. It's one of the longest.
She has all the information.
We cross the bridge, you know,
We cross
when
the-
we get there.
We cross some bridges while we get there. It's actually a number of bridges. It's 3 bridges, and if I recall correctly, and please correct me in the comments, first bridge that we will cross is the longest suspension bridge in the world, while the second bridge, it's the second longest some kind of construction method specific bridge.
I don't remember. Anywho, you will hear the announcement. Remember? Because they do an announcement when you cross the bridge, and they tell you that you're crossing one of the longest bridges in the world or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, you've done this 6 times. You don't remember?
I don't remember that. Yeah, right. So obviously we are not going to film or at least not going to show you the entire journey. It's a 1 hour and 5 minutes journey. I'm sure that no one wants to see the windshield for 70 minutes or so. All right, so we're just off the bus, going to our hotel. We're staying at this Novotel Century Hotel. It's our second time here. It is right in the city center in an area called Wan Chai, and that's close to pretty much everything. So this is what 100 euros per night gets you in downtown Hong Kong on an off season booking. Because June, it's definitely not tourist season. Because of my status with the hotel, we got upgraded. We're on the 22nd floor, and is the last room down the hall, so it should be a bit quieter. Although it is a bit moldy and a bit echoey, but we're not here to complain. We are here to ride the ding ding.
Ding ding.
Wink.
Biscuits.
No, it's like literally a tram, and it's called the Ding Ding. We'll show it. We are about to ride on the Ding Ding.
Ding ding.
The Ding Ding. That's the friendly name for the tramway system. It's been in place here for maybe 100 years now, but of course it is up to date, it is safe, and it is a tourist attraction in itself.
Yeah.
This ding ding thing runs across the island from the eastern end to the western end. It is really convenient. It is really cheap. I think it's the cheapest public transport here in Hong Kong. It doesn't get cheaper than that. And it is, as one would expect, packed full of tourists, just like ourselves, getting that ding ding experience. That was pretty, with Mario Kart and everything. If you're staying on the island, the ding ding might be just the very right stuff to travel eastbound or westbound over the island.
Just one line, right?
No, there are actually, I believe it's 3 lines.
3 lines.
I'm not sure how it works, but anyway. This is Ding Dinging 101 with Alexandra. That's the tram.
Ding ding.
The Ding Ding.
Yep. Oops.
You get on the tram from the back.
Go upstairs. Let's go upstairs.
Right.
Please
Because
don't
it's a
see my
double
ass.
decker, right?
Yeah, it's much better. There you go. I really like the ding ding.
She really
Very
likes the Ding Ding.
Yeah, show it a little bit. Look, it looks old.
She's a ding ding aficionado.
Yeah, I am.
Can you pay for the ding ding with that octopus thing?
Yes.
Yes.
So when we will
Alight? You get to pay when you alight? When you...
yes,
Okay.
when we descend. Yeah, right?
Alight? Yeah,
Alight.
that's the word.
Okay, when we alight and when
English
we arrive
language.
to our station, we are going to Central Market Station, I think. We're gonna tap like we did in the bus, which we took for the from the airport.
Anyway, this is the tramway. As you can see, it still retains some of the, well, I'm not sure if it's the original wooden panels, but it has a certain look to it, a certain vibe, like an olden
Pretty
vibe to
old.
it. But it is fairly modern. You get to see the next station, we're right there on that screen. There's lighting, there's, there's no AC.
There's no AC, of
There's
course.
no AC.
And I think they kept one or two trams, like really old ones. When you have to, ding the ding ding for the next stop, you have to pull a thing of sorts.
Right. Because I
A
think
rope
this,
of something.
this is the story behind the name, right?
Yeah.
It is a ding ding because of the sound that it makes.
Was making.
Yeah, whenever it has to stop in a station, and in order to signal a stop, you would have to pull a cord that is missing from this one tram. Anyway, enough with the unrequired history of tramways in Hong Kong. Just one last thing. This is the only tramway system
In Hong
functional
Kong.
in Hong Kong,
Yes.
right? Everything else is either above ground buses or minibuses or
Or the metro.
taxis or the metro, and we will get to the metro in a minute in this video, because the metro here is probably the best in the world without any exaggeration whatsoever.
Huge line for food.
People are always queuing up in Hong Kong, just as in any other huge metropolis.
Yes.
They queue up.
Very nicely.
It's probably the locals. Us tourists, we have no idea why they queue up. Maybe the food, maybe it's the drinks, maybe it's something else altogether. Anyway,
It's part of the culture, right?
it's part of a culture of sorts. This is a rite of passage of sorts. If you're in Hong Kong, you need to ride the ding ding. Everyone needs to get on board the ding ding. And everything is intense, everything is noisy, everything is a bit like jolting you from the left to the right. There's a lot of movement, there's a lot of beeps and boops and whatnots and sounds that, well, kind of put you on the edge a bit. But this is the actual experience. This is what you pay the very little amount of bucks for.
Pay attention and film on that side, because in about 1 minute or so, a party ding ding is going to pass us. So there is such a thing. You can rent a ding ding, a full ding ding, to have a party on it.
There is such a thing as a party ding ding.
There it is. Cool.
That was the party ding.
That was the party.
This is the boring ding ding.
Sorry.
Dear viewers, on your left side, this is the Alexandra building. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with my wife.
Aww.
It would have been very nice for Alexandra to actually own a building right here in central Hong Kong. I'm pretty
We
sure.
would have been rich if I owned a building here in central Hong Kong.
super simple stuff. You just tap off. Sure.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Thank you.
Now we're going to this place on Elgin Street in the mid-levels. It's our favorite place to eat here in Hong Kong. I think it's closed now. It's almost
Probably.
10 p.m. It's
Yeah,
probably
we'll see.
closed. Anyway, to get there, we will travel the mid-level escalator. The mid-level escalator it's a thing on its own, and it is a tourist attraction.
But it's also a way to go up and down the hill for the locals.
So it's more than just a touristy, blingy thing. It's a convenience thing for the locals.
And it's pretty unique in the world, by the way, because it's actually the longest escalators in the world, and you will see in a minute why.
If you're ever in Hong Kong and you want to travel this route that we're showing today, just remember the name Central Market. It's a pretty easy to remember name, and it is, well, as the name suggests, central to pretty much everything. It is, in fact, a shortcut.
So you pass through this market, and then you get immediately to the mid-levels escalators. Ai mă, ce dracu, e deschis la Kowloon și nu mai e deschis la Fini's.
That was Romanian for this clothes store is still open, but the restaurant place is not. Anyway, mid-level escalators, here we go. It is the longest escalator system in the world. It is dual purpose. First and foremost, it is built to ease the travel of people from the upper parts of the Hong Kong island to the lower parts, lower like an altitude sense. And of course it is a tourist attraction in itself, and people tend to flock around this place to get a nice shot of the escalators running up hill. What we're doing now is essentially in reverse. We're filming it from a downwards perspective, but I'm fine with that. It was built because Hong Kong is a very hilly place, right? The island is centered around this tall peak. It's called Victoria Peak. We'll get into details soon. As you can imagine, because the island is a very small place, it would have been otherwise very difficult for people living on the upper terraces of the island to walk up and down flights of stairs each day to go to work and to get back home. The escalator will run uphill to, I believe it's 11 p.m. and then run downhill during the morning hours for people to commute from the mid-levels, the buildings located on the terraces of the island, to the city center.
On each side of the escalators, you of course have your residential buildings and stuff like that, but you also have, because you're in the heart of the city, you also have the Soho neighborhood, which is full of bars, restaurants, places where people gather, mostly expats in this area, and most important,
sidewalk beer drinking. Sorry.
Sure, but also spas and nail salons.
Ooh.
Like quite a lot. A lot. Ooh, see? Massage. Okay, so here's the cool thing.
But not for the tourists. Okay.
This is NTR Fare Saver, and what it does is you touch your octopus here, and it gives you back some amount of money if you go down or up the stairs and don't take the escalator. No?
But unfortunately, it doesn't work for the tourist cards.
Yeah.
Because, well, us tourists are lazy. As you can see here, the escalator system actually goes down for a bit, right?
Yeah, but just a little bit. There's a little bar down on Elgin Street, very close to Fini's, the restaurant that we were talking about earlier. And back in 2017, when we were here together for the first time, there was a lady outside inviting us in to get beers, and every time we passed her, we heard Bergen beer, mom. Bergen beer is a brand of Romanian beer, and we were laughing about it because why the hell would you have Bergen beer in Hong Kong? But after a while, we found out that the bar is actually with Belgian beer, only Belgian beer. They have like, I think 100 types of Belgian beer. And like my husband said, street drinking.
Yep, and this is Totten's, is one of the well-known places here in mid-levels. As you can see, a lot of people, they congregate and they have sidewalk beers.
Hey, this is
sidewalk
new.
Beers are good beers.
And this one is new. This one wasn't here in January when we were here. So
The most
this is
amazing
actually
things.
cool. It's actually cool for me because we have come here so many times, and every time we come here, we see something new, right? There's a new metro station, there's a new bar, there's a new something. That's the thing with this city. Everything is new.
Are you guys ready for something special, like extra special? Oh, these are Prosecco fries. These are called Prosecco fries. I'm not sure what's in them. I believe it's angel dust and some sort of magic, but it's white magic. It's the good kind of magic. And people travel from all over the world just to taste the Prosecco fries at Fini's. And when I say people, I mean me. And when I say travel, I mean like for real. Like the better part of my reasoning for being here for in mid-June in Hong Kong is to eat Prosecco fries at Fini's. I'm going to add some uplifting music as a soundtrack to this.
Toys. We have toys. Go.
We have really expensive toys. I mean, they're not really expensive, they're only expensive, not really expensive.
Still updating.
Yeah, we just bought a new camera, this one, and
Updated. Hey.
and it was updating the firmware on the battery handle. The camera was updating the firmware on the battery, on the external battery. This is 2025, and we are probably 4 to 5 years away from being slaves to robots. So yeah, a camera updating the firmware on an external battery, it's something that robots should do. We're gonna take the subway for 2 stations down to Central, and then we'll take a boat to Lamma Island. That's a very nice island, some 25 minutes by boat ride from Central. And we're gonna take you along for the ride.
Five reasons why I like Hong Kong. First, it's vibrant. It's super vibrant, it's noisy, but it's in some places it's peaceful at the same time, which is quite nice. It's clean, it's very clean, it's very safe. Third, it has this, I don't know how to describe it, but everything seems to work here. You know, from the transport system to the taxis, to the way you pay for things, to just your day-to-day life. That's 3. For the people, they are actually very nice and very warm and welcoming. They strike conversations with you, they invite you to do stuff with them. It's actually quite lovely, as my husband would say. And last but not least, you have everything in one place, right? So you have the skyscrapers, the amazing skyline in Victoria Harbour. You will see it in a bit. And you have also the nature with the beaches, with the trails, with the snakes and the mini lizards and everything. So there we go. 5 reasons why to visit Hong Kong.
Hong Kong has a bunch of outlying islands. I think it's 4 larger ones and a few, maybe up to a dozen smaller islands. They are all connected through a ferry system. As you can see, first ferry number 3. I'm not sure how that goes. So this is the first ferry number 3. I wonder what happened with first ferry number 1 and first ferry number 2. And inadvertently, I made a number 1 and number 2 joke. Sorry, YouTube. First ferry number 3. And it should leave in a few minutes to Lamma Island. That's where we're going. I don't want to spoil anything for you because there is a second part of this video and a third part and a fourth part, and I don't even know how many parts of this video we will put up on YouTube. But right across this length of water, right across the Victoria Harbour, lies Kowloon, this other part of Hong Kong, and we will visit it together soon. This is the boat. It is pretty crowded because it's a weekend. We're filming this on a Saturday, and a lot of people are traveling to the islands. Are you excited about going to Lamma?
Yes, I am, but I'm hungry as well. So first, I'm excited to get to Lamma Express and eat some pizza, very good pizza in Hong Kong. And second, I'm excited to see again the little fishing village. He's mimicking the words because I forgot what it's called. I actually never knew what it's called. It's a very nice little village with no cars, full of people selling stuff and with outdoor eateries. And there are these little pathways that you can walk on, and they lead you to the beach, which is quite nice. It's a very nice and small beach that has an interesting view to the power plant.
She's camera shy.
No, it's because I'm used to, when I was doing camera, I think when I was back in journalism, each time I was on camera, I was ending what I was saying with thank you, goodbye, but in Romanian, of course.
Yeah.
So.
And this is 10 years later, and she's still.
I'm still doing it, yeah.
Right. Guys, this is the Yusheng 1 village ferry point on Lamma Island. This is a first glimpse into Lamma. An outlying island of Hong Kong, some 25 minutes by boat ride from Central. It is a fishing village. maybe 5,000 locals, lots of bikes, because there are precisely 0 cars on Lamma Island. Here's Alexandra.
Here's Ngon.
She had an unfortunate experience on the boat trip over, a bit of seasickness.
I don't do boats.
She doesn't do boats, although I think it's the first time that this happened to you.
Yeah.
Very interesting local history. During the Second World War and Japan's occupation of South China and Hong Kong, there's like a legend of sorts saying that the Japanese army, they flew in poisonous snakes onto this island and used the snakes to scare away the population, right? The inhabitants. But, well, we are in South Asia, Southeastern Asia, so people are not necessarily scared of snakes. They've seen them before. And now, this island, this particular island, has a very large population of, well, reptiles. And I recall that in 2017, we were having some beers at one of the eateries right here on the shore. And there was this guy there. And we got to talking, and he showed us some video on his phone of what appeared to be a 5 or even 6 meters python just crossing the path right next to his house on Lamma Island. This goes without saying, but we're from Bucharest. We don't have any pythons in Bucharest, right? There are precisely 0 large constrictor snakes in Bucharest. And that was impressive. And the guy was referring to this incident of sorts like a daily occurrence. Hey, I just met Mike. Who's Mike? Mike, that's the name of the python that, you know.
There's no cars, lots of eateries, and then you have these small shops that sell, well, basically everything. And I remember that one time we had to come from the main island, from Hong Kong to Lamma Island, and go into Lamma or Lamma Express, and go into one of these small shops here to buy a bar of soap, because we couldn't find anywhere in Hong Kong, you know, like hard soap, not the liquid one. Ooh! Okay, so Lamma Express has upgraded it a little bit. We know this place since many, many years ago when we first came here. And it was just 1 or 2 plastic tables with a eatery inside, and that was it.
And they upgraded the prices also.
Have like these stand-up tables and the bar. Very cute.
But this is my setup for eating at this pizza place. On the left-hand side of your screen, there's a Tsingtao beer, my favorite beer in China and Hong Kong. Let's not get into politics. On your right-hand side, a can of Coke, and on your rightmost hand side, I think it's 250 Hong Kong dollars. And in front of you, in this empty chair, Alexandra will be there soon enough.
Is this for me?
This is for beer and sodas for you.
Oh, so it's not for me to bargain at the night market?
This is not for you to bargain at the night market.
Oh.
A bit of foreshadowing, she's going to bargain at a night market. I do have some extra cash with me for you to bargain at a night market.
You do? Oh, okay.
This is for beers again,
Beers
and
Coke, okay,
and sodas.
Okay, got it.
I just realized that we paid 15 Hong Kong dollars for these 2 drinks here. A can of beer, delicious beer, and a can of regular Coke. 15 Hong Kong dollars equals amounts to maybe €1.5 or $2, $2 American. €1.5 for a can of beer and a can of Coke. I have a lot of people always telling me that Hong Kong is so expensive. And yes, Hong Kong is very, very expensive. When it comes to renting places, when it comes to buying property, when it comes to owning cars. But if you take a ferry boat 25 minutes to this island, you can enjoy Tsingtao beers for 70 US cents or 60 freedom euros. Oh, it's the other way around, right? It's 60 euro cents or 70 freedom cents. We're not supposed. Yeah,
US dollars.
I think we're supposed to refer to anything American as being freedom. If you're ever in Hong Kong, and you should be in Hong Kong at some point, pretty please do yourself a favor. Come to this place on Lamma Island. Enjoy the very nice pizzas.
Lamma Express.
Lamma Express. They didn't sponsor us in any ways. I mean, nobody actually sponsors us. There's just a bunch. It's like 7 people watching our videos. As you can imagine, no one sponsors this. I mean, we are, of course. But Lamma Express, we really enjoy it here. The beer is cheap and very, very nice. And it's cold. And the pizzas, we're going to show you the pizzas in 3, 2, 1. Pizzas.
Very good pizzas in Hong Kong.
These are pepperoni pies. They cost 130 Hong Kong dollars each. That's about cheap.
20.
It is about 10 euros.
10?
No, I'm really, this is girl math. It is maybe 14 euros. 14 euros, that's a decent amount of euros to spend on pizzas. And I just made a decision. Moving forward, we will not try to convert local currencies to US dollar anymore. We will only do conversions to euro and Romanian lei. This is a very obscure currency for you guys, but it is our national currency. We don't want to encourage people using United States dollars. One of the immensely misleading things about Hong Kong is the weather forecast. It's the 21st of June, I think. I'm not sure about the date. And during the summer months, May to September, there's supposed to be a lot of rain, right? It should rain buckets here. It should rain cats and dogs and other household pets. It should rain bunnies and the little parrots. I'm not sure what they called. But as you can clearly see, there's not a single cloud in the sky. And it's 30 degrees in the shade with a real feel of maybe 36, 37 because of the humidity. And walking is a challenge in itself. But nevertheless, we are walking to this beach. It's a 15 minutes walk to a nice and sandy beach right next to a power plant that powers the entirety of Hong Kong. We have been to this beach before, but this is true for many places in Hong Kong. We've been to most places in Hong Kong before, like a lot of times. This is not our first rodeo. This is like rodeo number 12 or something. Ooh. I get that we don't talk too much in these videos about some of the people that inspired us to do this vlogging thing. I know we suck at it, so they should take credit for it. But one of the people that we watch all the time is Ken Abroad. I'm not sure if you know him, if you know of him. Anyway, we are going to link his channel in the description of this video, which sounds very, very funny because he's, I don't know, watched by millions of people. Anyway, he has this very nice catchphrase in the beginning of his videos. He gives a very brief presentation of where he is, and then he invites people to come along for the ride, right? So join me if you'd like, or something like that. Feel free to join, right? So we are now as far away as humanly possible from any type of shade, walking towards a beach on Lamma Island, some 25 minutes by boat ride from Hong Kong Central. And as that guy would say, feel free to join. Again, some more unexpected trivia. See this fence right here? At one point, it was full of posters of missing cats and small dogs. It was probably due by, I don't know, people letting their cats and dogs roam free in their backyards or something. But there was reasonable suspicion that some of the larger reptiles that inhabit this island, such as reticulated pythons or Burmese pythons, I'm not sure what kind of pythons live here, maybe they, eat the cats and the dogs, but I'm sure that wasn't the case.
Few moments later.
Only once in our many, many visits to Hong Kong have we rode the Peak Tram up to Victoria Peak. It's usually incredibly crowded, kind of expensive. You pay like 80, 70 something, 80 Hong Kong dollars for a one-way ticket. We are going to try it out nevertheless. Yeah, there is a bit of a queue here. Oh wow. Anyway, this is attempt number 1 to take the Peak Tram up to the peak. And I'm afraid that attempt number 1 is going to fail. There is a bit of a queue here, and we need to buy tickets. And there is, well, there are people coming in from like all over the place. I'm not sure if they're buying the tickets or if they're queuing to ride the tram. There's a special priority line. We don't do that. Yeah, so, again, this is us deciding in Romanian if we are going to queue for the Peak Tram.
But I think Monday it's gonna be a better.
So this is a hard no.
experience.
Yeah, it's Saturday. It's Saturday, 7 p.m. ish, and a lot of people are queuing up to. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's a hard no.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
We are going to try again on Monday.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
we'll
if
have
not,
some...
you'll have to see stock footage of the tram, and we'll go by bus.
Yeah, I mean, we usually go by bus to the peak, and there is a lot of stock footage of the peak tram.
Yeah.
not once, in many times, trying to correctly pronounce the name of the place that we're traveling to, right across the Victoria Harbour, have I succeeded in pronouncing the name correctly. I'm going to refer to that place as Tin Sha Shui. Not sure if I'm saying it right. We're very close to the wooden dinghy thing. Right, guys, so you can see the queue here. I believe that one of the reasons for this very long queue is that a lot of people are not using the Octopus tourist card. One of the basic things that you should do before coming to Hong Kong or once you land in Hong Kong. Now let's enjoy the wooden dinghy with the people. Would you care for a box of mango juice? So this is the Star Ferry's wooden dinghy that's supposed to take us across to TST. And as you can see, it's from the olden days of boat building. when everything was like made out of wood and not that kind of wood. But here's a nice thing. Honk, honk, honk. But it is air conditioned, so at least there's that. Are you suffering to this?
Look at my face, what do you think?
No, she's fine. She's okay. Everything's fine. It's just a tad warm. It's just a bit warm. Just like a tiny bit of, 30 something degrees, real feel 40 something, but we'll manage. So guys, you're not going to get a peep out of me for the entire ride, right? Zero background noise. Hello again, the viewers. We are in TST. I've decided I'm going to name it, to pronounce it TST, short from Tin Sha Shui, because I'm never ever going to get it right. And we are prepared to show you the best view in the world. I know. And this is it. And probably our cameras are not doing a very good job at capturing this amazing view, this amazing skyline that is so familiar to us. But trust us when we tell you that it is absolutely beautiful. And we've been, fortunate enough to see this skyline and this view many times before, and we always fall back. We always revert to this view when we get to decide and we get to talk about the best skyline in the world.
This is how we get our fix. We come here at night and we see this. And I don't think there's a need to say anything else. Just look at it.
I think there is a need to say some things. First, where we are on the TST promenade, the Victoria Harbour promenade, and we are going to take you along for the walk. We of course have a connection to this, and we will probably get into it a bit more when we record some more, personal footage tomorrow. Come on, don't get cheeky, not that kind of personal footage. But we've been, again, fortunate enough to see the LA skyline from the Griffith Observatory, right? To see the Sydney Harbour at New Year's Eve. We've seen, Singapore's, what do you call it? What's the name of the hotel, babe?
Marina Sands.
The Marina Sands Bay and the Marina Sands whatever. We've been lucky enough to see Fisherman's Wharf from the Golden Gate Bridge. We've seen it, we definitely didn't see it all, but we've seen a lot of it, right? We've seen the Bund in Shanghai from both sides of the place. We even compared this to Manhattan, the Manhattan Island, the tip of the island, viewed from Brooklyn, right across the river. Nothing even comes close to this. So do yourselves a favor. If you're in Hong Kong, you are not allowed by law to miss this, but it is probably one of the first things that you are going to see while in Hong Kong, because it is a tourist must do. And unlike most tourist traps, this one delivers and delivers in full. And now less commentary and a bit more walking. We are going to take you along for the ride. Well, for the walk, not for the ride. On the TST promenade, on the Victoria Harbour promenade, and up to the Avenue of Stars. Yeah, people who try to sell you boat rides of sorts, you should say no. They suck. They all suck. So this is a tourist trap. This is something that you do not want to do. If you want to enjoy Victoria Harbour, like ride on the river, you can get a ferry across Victoria Harbour. That's cheaper. You get the same views, the same amazing views, and it will not cost you a hand and a leg. But one thing that's missing, and this is for you, babe, the performers, right? The street performers.
Ah,
I'm not.
you know, you're right.
Yeah.
I read something interesting. Well, it's not that interesting, but I read something. So there are street performers around here, and I'm using air quotes because technically speaking, they are not performing for an audience. They are practicing for karaoke contests. I swear to God. Yeah. So they come here, they put their phones on a
Tripod? Right.
and they have a little boombox, boombox?
Yeah.
A little boombox, and they sing along to the words of the songs on the phone, right? So they are practicing for karaoke contest. This is because they have a big audience here, you know. So.
All right, because of the people, because there's always people here, right?
And if you're thinking back to what we saw along the years when we came here, we never actually saw street performers. We saw that in Central on the footbridge.
Yeah.
But these guys here, they were not singing. I mean, they were singing, but they were doing karaoke.
And unfortunately, the ones on the footbridge that Alexandra is referring to, they got chased away by the police.
Yes.
And they were singing, I think it was like original songs. It was something that I didn't recognize. Here's me shutting the F up for a couple of seconds and allowing you to enjoy this absolutely amazing view. One thing that we've missed tonight, and we are probably going to miss it tomorrow as well, is the Symphony of Lights. This is a thing that happens here in the harbor each night at 8 p.m. sharp. So what goes is that a lot of the buildings that you see in this picture here have some sort of LED lighting system, and all those LED lights, they kind of sync with the music that you can hear on the speakers, on the loudspeakers right here, and they perform a show of music and lights. It lasts for about 12 to 13 minutes. Again, a tourist must do, but it does pay off.
And it's free. It's free.
Yeah, it is free. Yeah, it is absolutely free. But we were a bit lazy tonight, and we will probably be similarly lazy tomorrow.
And if you want a better experience of the Symphony of Lights, you take the ferry from Central to Tsim Sha Tsui exactly when the lights show start, and you see it both ways,
right.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually didn't thought about that, because there are, of course, right. There are tall buildings in this Symphony of Lights show on both sides of the harbor, because you can enjoy the show from Hong Kong, from the island as well, not just from Kowloon. And yes, if you catch that ferry, that precise ferry at, I don't know, 7:50 p.m. I think that the ferry is going to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Right? For you to enjoy maybe just a couple of minutes, right? I've successfully not said lovely in this vlog for, well, since the beginning of on our trip in Hong Kong, but I feel that I've used the word right to describe something multiple times. Yeah.
It's the destination and the world with you. So it's the destination and the new world with you. Then in Monopoly was lovely. In Chongqing was, what was it? Absolutely, or something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's the new destination, new world, new fixation word.
Right. Right.
Right. Radio.
Again, a bit of storytelling, and I'm going to give this cam to Alexandra and ask her to film. Our first time here was in 2017, our first time together here. But I've been here before. I was here in 2013, so that was 13 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. And I was here with some friends, and it was my first time traveling to Hong Kong. And it was my first experience, my first time traveling, you know, like far away.
Right.
And we took a photo together in exactly this place, right here, exactly here. It was 12 years ago. I still have that photo in, it's somewhere in our home. It's in a frame, somewhere in our living room. I'm not sure that you, do you know of that photo?
Yeah,
Right.
I know it.
I still have that photo there. It's a photo of my friends and myself, and it does, you know, it does remind me of good things. It has such a positivity to it. It really adds up to. It really adds up to me, you know, becoming somewhat in love with this place and with what seeing the world, traveling the world represents for me. And then if we move forward 4 years and our first time here, I do recall that we've landed sometimes probably around noon, maybe it was 2 p.m., 3 p.m. something. We got to our Airbnb, I don't know, around maybe 5 p.m. And then the first thing that we do is we took the MTR down to, I think we need to go. We took the MTR down to TST. Yep.
For many. 101 people.
To see the Symphony of Lights. And we both walked up that elevated platform right at the waterfront, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I have some photos there. You took some photos. I took some photos. I have some photos there. We were both. I mean, I think the best word to describe it is amazed. We were both amazed of what we were seeing, and I think it was our first time together when we very seriously connected with this idea that, you know, our place in the world, literally traveling the world. I'm not sure. So that was the grain, right? That was the seed that was being planted in our very tired and jet-lagged minds in 2017. But I think it did bloom into something nice. And I do think that was the precise moment when both of us kind of acknowledged that this is what we should focus on, right? And we shouldn't stray from trying to, you know, see as much of the world as we can and learn as many things as we can learn, and try to find the places that we fit in. Because without getting too philosophical, and this is me after 3 or 4 beers, I don't believe that there's just one place for everyone. I believe there are multiple places that we can fit in. This is the fact for me, and I know that this is the fact for you as well. And I'm really, really happy that we found at least one one more place, or maybe two. That's it for me. This is philosophy 127 or something. Unrequired walk through my memories lane. Now back to Alexandra because she looks way prettier than I do.
Even with all the heat. To continue to what Ngon said, I think that I don't know how to say it, but the best to describe what I felt when I landed in Hong Kong in the airport, actually. So we never got to get out of the airport yet. When I started feeling this way, it was like I felt like I was home. I don't know why, because I knew nothing about Hong Kong. And by the way, I did not believe my husband when he told me that we are going to Hong Kong for our honeymoon.
Yay!
Well, I mean, come on. But yeah, that's it. It felt like home, and it still feels like home. So that's it for me.
And we did try to move here, right?
Yeah.
And we almost made it. We almost made it, but then some very heavy stuff happened here. Some protests, you maybe know about it. And then COVID, and then lockdowns, and then the world shifted to what it is today. So we had to adjust and make new plans. But for every plan, for every new plan that we've made, we've always kept just a tiny amount of headroom that includes Hong Kong. Anyway, back to the fun stuff.
It's like I said, we always find a reason to come here.
Yep.
Or we invent a reason to come here.
Not just one reason, but many reasons. Right? But we only need one reason. So, we are at the TST promenade right now and are going to cross the road into Kowloon.
What is TST?
It's my way of avoiding to pronounce Tsim Sha Tsui because I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing it correctly.
It is Tsim Sha Tsui.
It could be. Anyway, Kowloon. Kowloon is, technically speaking, the largest part of Hong Kong. Not by size, but by inhabitants. And it is right across Victoria Harbour from the island, from the Hong Kong island. And this is this road that we're on, right, is a sort of gateway to Kowloon. And it does look a bit fancy. You have the K11 mall down on your right-hand side. You have some five-star hotels and whatnots. But
all the brands.
yeah, you have that purple Bentley, whatever. A lot of affluent people, they tend to congregate to this area. But through the magic of video editing, and if you give us 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1, video editing wonders. This is Nathan Road. This is the main road that runs through Kowloon from the southern point, of Kowloon, that's Victoria Harbour, up to the northmost point of Kowloon.
When we first came to Hong Kong, I discovered something here, and it became sort of like a tradition to make my provisions from this place. So we're gonna go into this. It's sort of like a traditional Chinese pharmacy, and we're gonna buy something that it's called tiger balm patches. It's for back pain or muscular pain or whatever pains you have. I think, I'm not sure. It's made out of some plants or something.
And old people medicine.
Yes. It smells like old people, menthol and old people, but they are really good, so I really recommend them if you have back problems. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Okay, so these one are cool and these one are warm. Both of them are really, really good. So I'm gonna buy 2 of each. Yay!
So guys, if you're struggling with back pain or whatever type of affection,
Thank you.
You can follow my wife's advice and buy the Tiger Balm plasters. right here at this lovely traditional pharmacy on Nathan Road in Hong Kong.
Thank you. So I'm a girly girl, so of course I like Nathan Road. Because Nathan Road is full of shops with clothes, makeups, accessories, and all the things that you can think of in the world. And there are these cute little shops, no brand at all, but they have really, really nice clothing at very, very affordable prices, like this one, for example. So it's really more of a, I don't know, if you want to go on a shopping spree in Hong Kong, you definitely have to come to Nathan Road.
This was one of your first big purchases while in Hong Kong. You spent the better part of 60 Hong Kong dollars, so that's
25, I remember.
25 Hong Kong dollars.
25 Hong Kong dollars, yeah.
That's
On a pair of
2 euros on something,
on pants.
on pants.
Yeah.
Do you still have that pants? Those pants?
No. No, babe, that was 8 years ago.
Were they good pants?
They were a really cheap knockoff of a pair of Valentino pants that were just coming out that season in the summer.
So you're telling me that the pants you paid 2.5 euros for were not up to those 2.5 euros?
No, they were. I wore them like 2 years or stuff,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. So impulse buying is not the right way, right? Ta-da!
Ah, look, they changed
They changed the stuff. Okay, so this is the touristy thing that you need to do at nighttime in Kowloon. This is called Temple Street, and this street is called the Temple Street, and this is the Temple Street Market. Let me give you a I'm sorry, the Night Vibes Temple Street. Right, they kind of changed the name on me. So this here is a night market, and as you can imagine, the first language spoken here is English because it's full of tourists and full of people with stalls trying to sell you a lot of cheap stuff, and we love every second of it. I think
This is new as well because the
food part, right?
Yeah, the food part. It wasn't here back in January. So this is something really new. Okay, let's
move on the sidewalk. Move to the sidewalk.
Hey, Yuan?
Yep.
Do you think that we're gonna find the wigs shop with the cat?
Some nice shops with cats. I hope
No,
so.
the wigs.
The wigs shop. Do you think it's still open at this time
Maybe.
of the day? It's almost 10 p.m.
Should be.
Let's hope so. Right. So there are all this food stuff here, and I think they're branded. Like each stall, or some stalls are from different places. I've seen one from the Philippines. I've seen ones with some Chinese food. Of course, here is just food. I've seen one with some Indonesian stuff. But this is the main attraction, right? This is the Temple Street night market, where you can buy a really cheaply made McDonald's bag. I'm not sure this is a thing. Do McDonald's make bags?
No, they don't.
Yeah, we're just, thank you. We're just browsing. I'm not sure that McDonald's, they don't make any bags, right?
No.
But you can get a McDonald's bag, like an original McDonald's bag. An original McDonald's bag for next to nothing. And the same goes for miniature buses, knockoff AirPods, jewelry, some ceramics, bags. What do you call it? The tote bags with Hong Kong. These are actually very nice. When I'm not doing tote bags anyway. You can get wallets and what are these? These are purses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Fridge magnets, Bluetooth speakers.
Remember, we are looking for a fanny pack for myself.
I had no idea, but it seems I had no idea we're looking for a fanny pack, but it seems like we're looking for a fanny pack for Alexandra.
Yes.
Look, fanny packs, nice ones. You don't like them? Of course you don't like them.
I don't.
They're kind of shitty. Ooh. Okay, so you get some pictures with some personalities here, like important political figures, and your trolley bags, and again with some Hong Kong paraphernalia, and the fat kid in the.
I think these are
armchair.
some manga figurines.
It could be, but I'm not. Lebubu? What do they call it? Lebubu? I'm not sure if that's a
I
thing.
don't know, babe.
It's something that I'm supposed to be or something that I'm not supposed to be not. I'm not sure. Anyway, fridge magnets. Weird looking outfits for cats maybe. Some chopsticks. Again with the trolley bags. Cats waving at you like, hey, the good luck cats. Hello cats, hello kitties, hello kitties.
They are supposed to bring you good luck and
They're
fortune.
Yes,
And fortune.
specifically fortune.
Yeah.
So we are going to go through the stalls, right? So we're going to walk through the stalls for you to find a fanny pack.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we're going to find a fanny pack, but
Me
at least
neither,
we
but we'll
and
try.
we are going to return on the sidewalk and maybe find that shop with the wigs.
Yeah.
That's wigs, W-I-G-S, wigs, W-I-G-G-S, as in hair wigs.
Do I want to fake?
Do you want to fake whatever? No, you don't want to
This is,
fake.
I think, is this a Gucci or what?
Hello, how much?
So,
Someone just said.
what?
Someone just said. Just walked past a stall and said, Gucci? No, fake. No. Of course it's fake.
I don't believe that those are fake. I honestly cannot believe it. So you're telling me those are not real Gucci bags?
Shocker.
Oh my God, that's a first. Okay. So, the basics of this place is, if you can think of it, they probably don't have it, but they will sell you a cheap knockoff of it. Oh, it says no photo, please. Oh, okay. We're not supposed to take photos. Not going to do it. Sorry. Obviously, they will not allow you to take photos because of copyright reasons.
Wink, wink.
They don't want the copyright. They don't want their IP infringed by some tourists taking pictures of the design of their shirts, or at least this is the explanation that I'm giving myself. But I do recall that at one point, in our many visits to this place, I did find a Lego sets. It was Star Wars themed, but it was not exactly Star Wars because probably of copyright issues, and it was Star Wars or something. Star Wars. It was STARWRNS.
Close enough.
It was close enough for me. You should buy a fanny pack. Look, just buy a fanny pack and haggle with them. And
Do you remember this?
I do remember that. That's a tote bag. You have one of those.
Yeah, I
have
bought
one-
it in 2017.
You bought it in 2017, and
and it's
it is in that
exact
color.
one.
I'm not sure. Do you still have it?
Yeah, of course, it's the exact one.
You used to collect them, right? You have one
Yeah.
from. each city that, I mean, not each city, but most, I mean, some of the cities that we visited.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Oh, look. Funny looking
What are these?
spinner stuff. Yep. If you touch it, you bite. It says right that it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Doesn't say that.
And people, I know that smell-o-vision isn't a thing yet, but it smells like durian. If you know what durian is, then you know what this smell is. Yeah, so everyone is dying of cuteness here or something. Okay, the local food hall. We just had dinner, so we are not going to partake. Maybe a beer. A beer would be nice.
Yeah, we could stop and take
Maybe
a beer.
once we return from the ride.
A few moments later.
We are at the Peak Galleria.
This very large building right here. I don't know if you can see it. Can you? Okay. Whee! This is the best known tourist spot in Hong Kong, by far. It is called the Peak Galleria, although the Victoria Peak, the literal peak of the mountain, the Victoria Mountain, is someplace up there. And right over there, that's the terminus point of the Peak Tram. And yesterday we promised we will try to take the Peak Tram up to Victoria Peak. We failed. We're in the middle of a marathon. We're not participating in that marathon, but we are right in the middle of it. Anyway, we tried to take Peak Tram up to Peak Galleria. We failed because it was very crowded, and we took a bus up to this place in Hong Kong.
I'm sorry, am I the only one who's weirded out about the weather here?
I mean,
It's cooler. I'm weirded out because it's way cooler than it's downstairs, that's one. And two, usually it's hot like hell. Hot and sweaty. And right now the wind is blowing and there's a breeze and it's actually walkable.
the weather is walkable. If you move just a few steps from the entrance to to the Peak Galleria, you will reach this road that circles the Victoria Peak. This road is probably the best alternative to walking up the Peak Galleria. It's a 45 to 60 minutes walk around Victoria Peak, and you get to see all the nice views on the southern side of the island of Aberdeen and on the northern side of the island of Kowloon, the North Territories, and of course the Hong Kong Island. And if you time your arrival here, maybe 50 to 60 minutes before sunset, the view is going to be even more amazing, because Hong Kong at night is truly something special. I don't think that we are going to do that today because we're still 1.5 hours from sunset, but we will show you some of the great viewpoints, some of the best places you can stop to admire the view, to take some photos, and maybe just relax and breathe it all in.
Bonus pretty waterfall.
This is one of the vantage points that people will usually stop to admire the sights right there and to take photos. Precisely what we are doing right now.
And when he says complete silence, he means almost complete silence, because you have the sound of the cicadas everywhere. Each time we come here to Hong Kong, I stop down the road. There's a pretty nice vantage place and I take the same photo every year. It's my screensaver. I change it every time I come here. And I take it every year. It's not more of a memory thing, but I think it's more like marking the moment that I was there, you know. So I remember it all the time. So it's on my phone and it's on my laptop as well.
A few geeky things about Victoria Peak. Victoria Peak, as the name aptly implies, is the peak of a mountain in the center of Hong Kong Island. Traditionally, it was the living ground of wealthy and influential people here in Hong Kong during the British. Oh my God, being politically correct is such a hard thing to do when English is not your first language. Things haven't changed that much, and Victoria Peak still hosts some of the most, wealthy and probably influential people that are still living here in Hong Kong. Properties here, the price of properties are, oh my God, are so high. You can, I mean, my feeble Romanian mind simply cannot comprehend how can anyone pay maybe 50 million euros for a 100 square meter apartment somewhere in this region, in this area of Victoria. But although this might be a slight exaggeration in terms of price, I think it's a good benchmark. It is incredible what a 15 minutes ride by bus from the city center of one of the largest cities in this part of the world can achieve. You reach this place. It's called the Morning Trail, right? You can see here. This is what it's called. It's maybe 2.8 kilometers from one end to the other. And you can hear the cicadas. Okay, these stairs. And this is as far as I'm going to go. In 2017, we visited the peak. Do you remember that, right? You remember that one?
I do.
We visited Victoria Peak. It was very hot. It was way hotter than today, although it was still in June. And we've descended from the peak on the stairs that, I mean, I don't know, maybe you can see the stairs or maybe you can't. You'll have to trust me. There are some stairs going from Victoria Peak, and that's on top of the hill that I'm filming, and down to this road right here.
You told me it was a short ride. It wasn't.
A ride?
A short walk on the stairs. Emphasis on short and not dangerous at all.
But it wasn't dangerous.
It wasn't dangerous. It was pretty slippery. And as you can imagine, I'm not a outdoorsy person. But funny thing is that he was more scared than I was, because he was looking everywhere on the road to see if there are snakes. And you told me that only when we got down.
So May to June is mating season for most of the species of snakes. Is it April? I think it's April to May. It's mating season for some of the species of snakes that live here in South Asia and Southeast Asia. Among some of the reptiles that might bite you, just going to name the king cobra, a resident of this forest. The Chinese cobra, again, a local here. The monocle cobra, I think you see where I'm going with this, right? Not to mention the cousin on the larger side of things, the reticulated python. All those animals live here, in this bush, in this tropical forest, in the middle of Hong Kong. Literally in the middle of Hong Kong, right? 15 minutes by bus from Central.
There's an NGO or something that takes care of the snakes in Hong Kong. So they capture them when they can, or when they are spotted in the city, they capture them and they take them to this place a bit far from here, from where we are. It's called Kadori Farm. And if you want to visit it, it's a pretty nice place to visit, by the way. You're not going to see snakes, weirdly enough. But it's a very, very nice farm that was, I don't remember exactly the story. It was made by a couple who tried to, or started to, rescue animals, various animals here in Hong Kong. And as the city developed more and more, the poor snakes, they were displaced, and they were probably,
displaced. It's fine.
Displaced, yeah, or stressed out by the construction and stuff like that. So they took them into this Kadori farm.
So much for the serenity and quietness of the place. As you reach the end of this trail, you will most likely see people coming on the trail. It is a Sunday afternoon. There are a lot of people with kids, playing, running, screaming, whatever the kids do. Anyway, you can get a sense of just how beautiful this place is. I mean, I hope you can get a sense of it just by looking at this footage. In this clearing here, in this opening, from this opening, you can see what I think is it's West Kowloon, right there, and part of the Northern Territories, right, up to those mountains and those hills. And right in front of you, well, there's mainland China. This is one of the very few moments in my life I wish I'd known a bit more about plants and trees and stuff, because there are a lot of trees here, a lot of green stuff, which I know absolutely nothing about. And I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. There are some labels on some of the larger trees. I know that we've read those labels once at least. They were kind of interesting, but we kind of forgot what kind of trees. This is the fourth vantage point on this morning trail, or laggard road, as you will find it on Google Maps. This is the best of the four, because you get this unobstructed view of Kowloon right there, Hong Kong Island, this bit over here, and West Kowloon, that bit over there, and Northern Territories. And I promise that this is the last shot of this trail vlog. At the end of this trail, we are going to show you one of the places that you need to know about when visiting Peak Galleria. If you are the do-it-yourself type of person that we hope you are, and we hope you enjoy our videos, it is unlikely that you will pay some tens of Hong Kong dollars to go up the top of Peak Galleria to get that nice shot of the Hong Kong Island and Kowloon. You will most likely walk this trail, because it is a 1 hour walk. You'll need a few things. First, you'll need hydration, and I'm going to pinpoint on a map right about now where you can find a 7-Eleven. You can buy yourself some nice Pocari Sweat. Yay, Pocari Sweat. We love Pocari Sweat. Pocari Sweat people, if you're out there, drop us an email. And then the second thing you are going to need, I mean, probably, you are going to need a toilet. And there is one available to the public. And it is important. Yeah, this is important. And it is right behind the Peak Galleria Mall. And it is accessible by stairs. And you get to see one of the perfect views in Hong Kong. And no, that's not the toilet. That's...
I say you get to pee with a view. Pee with the view.
Okay guys, this is it. This is that bonus shot I was alluding to. As you can see, there are some stairs. There's a flight of stairs going down to that little place over there with the orange trash bin. On your right hand side, there's an entrance to your public toilet. This is a need to know, a must know fact about Hong Kong and the Peak Galleria, right? And let me just show you what the view is like from this point here.
A few moments later.
I'm living my best life. I'm having this butter roll for breakfast and a sugar-free Red Bull. I gotta watch you wait. I gotta watch my figure. Don't find the Red Bull. Oh. And we are about to go on one of those cable cars. And you know what I just realized? I'm not sure that the weather is going to be find up in those mountains. There's a lot of cloud coverage there, and that's where we're going. This place has been built as a starting point for three things, right? For three tourist attractions. First, this big fellow over here, right there, the largest Buddha statue in existence. Second, the Kowloon Monastery, and we are going to get to that in a bit. And third, the Wisdom Path, a 1 mile walk, so it's 15 to 20 minutes walk to a opening, a clearing in the forest. There's a shrine celebrating the local culture and some of the local folklore. Unfortunately, the Wisdom Path is closed or has been closed on June 5th for some civil works. So we are not going to be able to show you that. But we are going to try to at least visit the outskirts of the Kowloon Monastery. Does it feel authentic? No, it doesn't. This place has been purpose-built. This is not for you to have a first-hand experience and a first-hand contact or a second experience with the local culture, with the local habits, with the history of the place. This has been built as an artificial ramp, if you like, to that big fella over there. I know this camera doesn't do a good job at zooming in, but I think it's clear from the picture that this statue here is of important size.
If you come to Hong Kong between June and July, especially on the Lantau Island, you will get to see something special. And that is a wonderful and very large display of water lilies. I'm gonna show it to you guys right now. These water lilies display are a part of one of the largest festivals in Hong Kong of water lilies and lotus flowers. They are a very important part of the culture here because they symbolize prosperity. If you come between June and July to Hong Kong and Lantau Island, you will get to see a variety of hundreds and hundreds of water lilies and lotus flowers that are really, really beautiful to look at. Sometimes there are people that come here and they create these beautiful displays like you see here, and they held contests to establish which display is the most beautiful one.
This is aptly named the Nyongping Piazza. This is the name. This is the official name on the map, right at the entry point of this place. I'm not sure why anyone would call this place a piazza. And write it as is in Italian. But hey, this is not meant for locals. This is meant for tourists, and tourists like to read words they can, relate to. If you're ever in Nyongping 360, you will most likely want to visit this big guy over here. As you can see, there are a lot of people trying to take photos of the statue, right? So this is something that's happening right here at this entry gate. A few interesting facts about this statue. It is one of the largest in the world. It's 34 meters tall. It weighs nearly 250 metric tons, and it has been built in 1993. I think they started construction on it in 1990, but only finalized the construction in 1993. You need to climb 268 steps to get to the top of this hill and visit the statue. There are 3 levels at the base of the statue that you can visit. They each represent different notions of the local folklore, of the lore, and of course the Chinese culture.
Hello, CTK another picture.
Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, guys, this is the Pinh 360 crystal cabin, and as the name aptly implies, it is see-through. It has a see-through glass bottom. And because of the really nice people here at Pinh 360, the Pinh terminus, hey guys, we have this cabin just for ourselves. On the way down, the Pinh 360 cable car system. This is the longest cable car system in the world. The journey from Pinh village, the place that we've just left, to Tung Chong, the terminus point of this journey, is about a 22 or 23 minutes ride. They have 3 types of cabins. This is the middle one in terms of costs and luxury. It's called the crystal cabin. They have a standard cabin that is similar to this one in size, but the bottom is hard floor essentially. It isn't see-through. And they have a crystal plus cabin. That's a new addition. They have been operating it for I think it's 2 years now. It looks kind of like this one, but with the lower part of the cabin also made of glass. Now, if my very beautiful wife wishes to turn the camera to her left-hand side, this is a ta-da moment. On the way down, and of course on the way up, but on this cable car ride between the 2 terminus points, you will see on the right hand side going up and on the left hand side going down, 2 of the most amazing construction in the world, in my not so humble opinion. In this shot here, this is the Hong Kong-Macau link bridge, and it links Hong Kong with Macau. The Hong Kong-Macau link bridge on your right hand side, on my right hand side, it's an amazing site. It was an amazing feat of engineering, but they managed to build it in, I think it was less than 10 years. And the bridge spans for 37 kilometers. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments, and I will make sure to add some text in the video about this. And it has been open since 2021, if I remember correctly, or was it 20? No, it's actually earlier. I think it was 2019. Along this cable car journey, you can probably see that there's a footpath, right? Because this portion of Lantau, beginning with the Tung Chung terminus and down to Puyo Beach and across the Pinh village, is part of a trail, a Hong Kong trail. It's called the Dragon Back Trail, and it spans the entire length of Lantau plus the Hong Kong island, and you can of course travel by foot. I have an ongoing wager with Alexandra and honestly with myself that I'm still in enough of a fit shape to walk this path by foot, but definitely not in the middle of June in 35 degrees heat. Now, for my aviation geek people, and I know I know the 2 of you in the comments. Okay, I'm going to grab the cam for a bit. Take a look at this beauty right here. This is my favorite airport in the entire world. This is Hong Kong International Airport. I first landed here in 2013, and it's always such an emotional moment for me to return to this airport. I think this is the airport that's somewhat, awakened this passion of mine for commercial aviation and geekness in general. Some things have developed since our previous visit here. They have recently opened a 3rd runway, and I really hope that this camera does a sufficient job at capturing this moment, but there's a plane landing on the third runway as we speak. And since 2023, they've started construction on the airport's second terminal. It's right here in the shot. As you can see, they are going to extend that terminal building all the way to the left-hand side of your screen. I think it will add up to 35 plus million pax per year capacity to what is already one of the largest airport terminals in the world.
Așa, ca și când aș avea niște sclipici pe față, știi?
Aha.
Dăm șotat pe prin mall-ul ăsta de aici.
Bă, da, putem să ne răcorim înainte să mâncăm.
Aia ziceam, poate găsesc un fortress de la băi, dar ce frumos e terminalul ăla și nu știu dacă observă, este mult mai înalt, mult mai mare decât înălțime.
Da.
Hong Kong. Why this place? Why do we love it here? Why should you come here? You go first.
I could give you 1 million reasons of why to come to Hong Kong, but I think it wouldn't matter for you. For me personally, Hong Kong is home, and it's more home than my actual home. So I think that the main reason that I always want to come back to this place is how it makes me feel, and the fact that I find here everything that I'm looking for in a vacation. I have the beach, I have the skyscrapers, I have the amazing city, and a lot of things to do.
So I'm gonna get a bit philosophical. This city will change you. Right? I'm not mincing words and I'm not speaking out of bounds. This city will change you. This is such a great mix of what you probably know about or you think you know about places like New York and London and Shanghai and Paris and well, that's it. Or maybe Sydney, Australia as well. But all in a very condensed package. And it gives you so much. But oh my God, not for 1 second you will be bored.
We are in Times Square, Causeway Bay in Hong Kong. It's one of the most vibrant and busiest districts in New York. 2 fun facts from the internet about Causeway Bay and Times Square. So Times Square was built somewhere in 1994, and apparently a few years after it was built, here in Times Square, during the New Year's Eve celebrations, they used to have a ball drop, just like in New York Times Square for the New Year's Eve. So that's fun fact number 1. And fun fact number 2 from the internet is this area around us is home to no less than 238 retailers, and it holds 10, I think, of the most upscale restaurants here in Hong Kong. That is if you're into fancy food.
No,